Welcome to our exploration of Spain's genetic history. In this video, we'll uncover the DNA story of the Spanish people, tracing their origins from ancient times to the present day. We'll examine how major historical events and migrations have shaped Spain's genetic landscape, providing insights into the country's rich and diverse heritage. Join us as we decode the genetic threads that make up the fabric of modern Spain. The story of modern Spain begins with its formation as a unified state in the late 15th century, following two crucial events. In 1479, the Crown of Castile and the Crown of Aragon united through the marriage of Isabella I of Castile and Ferdinand II of Aragon. This union is considered the birth of Spain as a nation-state. The second key event occurred in 1492, when Spanish forces conquered Granada, the last Muslim-ruled territory on the Iberian Peninsula, ending the centuries-long Reconquista. The name Spain derives from España, which comes from Hispania, the Roman name for the Iberian Peninsula. The origin of Hispania is debated, but it may trace back to an ancient word meaning land of rabbits. Today, Spain is divided into 17 autonomous communities, each with its own government and cultural identity. While Spanish, also known as Castilian, is the official national language, several regions have their own languages, including Catalan, Basque, and Galician. This diverse cultural landscape reflects Spain's complex history, a history not just written in books, but embedded in the DNA of its people. The genetic story of Spain begins with its earliest inhabitants, the Western hunter-gatherers, who arrived after the last ice age around 12,000 years ago. These groups, who lived by hunting and gathering, are the first to leave a genetic imprint on the Iberian Peninsula. Their legacy is still detectable today, particularly in certain haplogroups, such as U5. Around 7,500 years ago, the Iberian Peninsula experienced a significant transformation with the arrival of the first farmers. These were people from the Aegean Sea region and Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, who brought agriculture to Iberia. This migration marked a major shift, as it allowed for larger, more settled populations. The genetic impact of these Neolithic farmers is evident in the prevalence of haplogroups such as H, which remains a significant component of the modern Spanish gene pool. A profound genetic shift occurred about 4,500 years ago with the arrival of people from the Pontic-Caspian steppe, associated with the Yamnaya culture. These groups brought new technologies, languages, and, crucially, a genetic lineage that dramatically altered the male genetic landscape of Iberia. This period coincided with the emergence of the Bell Beaker culture, named after their distinctive bell-shaped pottery. The Bell Beaker culture is linked to the introduction of the R1, B-M269 haplogroup, which almost entirely replaced previous male lineages such as I2, G2, and H. Today, R1b is found in about 70% of Spanish men, with even higher frequencies in regions like the Basque Country and Catalonia. During the Iron Age, roughly 3,000 to 2,500 years ago, the genetic landscape of the Iberian Peninsula was further shaped by migrations from northern and central Europe. These migrations brought new technologies and cultural practices, as well as an increase in northern and central European ancestry. A significant group during this time was the Celtiberians, a mix of the local Iberian population and incoming Celtic peoples. The Celtiberians lived mainly in central and northern Iberia, and their influence can still be seen in the genetic makeup of regional populations today, particularly in Galicia. The Roman period, beginning in 218 BC, brought another significant shift. Over 600 years of Roman control led to a genetic shift towards Central and Eastern Mediterranean ancestry. Studies have shown that during this period, the genetic makeup of many Iberians became more similar to that of present-day Italians and Greeks. This change reflects the movement of people throughout the Roman Empire and the long-term cultural and demographic impacts of Roman rule. Following the fall of the Roman Empire, the Visigoths, a Germanic people, established a kingdom in Iberia. While their cultural influence was significant, their genetic impact appears to have been less so. Evidence of Visigothic ancestry in modern Spanish populations exists, but is generally at low levels, reflecting their relatively limited long-term genetic contribution. The Muslim conquest of Iberia in 711 AD marked the beginning of a significant chapter in Spanish history and genetics. This period, known as Al-Andalus, lasted until 1492 and left a lasting imprint on the genetic landscape of the Iberian Peninsula. Modern genetic studies have revealed patterns of North African ancestry in Spanish populations, with an average contribution ranging from about 7.7% to 10.6%. Pattern suggests complex population movements within the Iberian Peninsula, possibly due to migrations after the Reconquista or movements of Muslim populations northward as Christian kingdoms expanded southward. It's important to note that genetic ancestry does not necessarily correlate with cultural or religious identity. Many Iberians who converted to Islam during Al-Andalus were of local ancestry, and many Muslims either left or converted to Christianity after the Reconquista. As we've explored the historical foundations of Spain's genetic landscape, from the earliest hunter-gatherers to the complex interactions of the medieval period, we now turn our attention to the DNA of modern Spanish people. This genetic tapestry reflects thousands of years of migrations, conquests, and cultural exchanges, creating a unique and diverse population. Modern genetic studies have provided detailed insights into the genetic structure of the Spanish population. A comprehensive analysis published in Nature Communications in 2019, which included over 1,400 Spanish individuals, revealed a complex mixture of ancestral components. The study identified 5 main ancestral contributions. Firstly, European Neolithic farmer ancestry, including Anatolian farmers, accounts for 40 to 45%. Secondly, Western hunter-gatherer ancestry comprises 15 to 20%. Thirdly, steppe pastoralist ancestry, dating from the Bronze Age, contributes 20 to 25%. Fourthly, North African and Middle Eastern influence makes up 10 to 15%. Lastly, Roman and Germanic influence accounts for 5 to 10%. It's crucial to understand that the European Neolithic farmer ancestry primarily represents the genetic contribution of Anatolian farmers, and the steppe pastoralist ancestry is most closely associated with Indo-European speaking groups, including the precursors to Celtic cultures. Now, let's explore Spain's diverse genetic landscape across different regions. In the Basque Country, we find a unique profile. It stands out with high Neolithic farmer ancestry, over half of their genetic makeup, and very little North African influence. Moving to Andalusia in the south, we see a different picture. Here there's a strong North African and Middle Eastern genetic presence, about a quarter of the total. This reflects Andalusia's long period under Muslim rule. In the northwest, Galicia and Asturias show higher levels of what we call steppe pastoralist ancestry. This is often associated with Celtic influence in the region. The eastern coast, including Catalonia and Valencia, presents a typically Mediterranean genetic profile. They also have a bit of extra Mediterranean influence, likely due to historical maritime connections. Finally, central Spain generally mirrors the country's overall genetic average. These regional differences paint a vivid picture of Spain's complex history, shaped by various migrations and cultural interactions over thousands of years. While genetic studies provide invaluable insights into Spain's complex history, another fascinating window into the past is through the study of Spanish surnames. Much like the genetic landscape, Spanish surnames reflect the diverse cultural influences that have shaped the Iberian Peninsula over millennia. The origins of these names often correlate with the historical migrations and settlements we've explored in the genetic narrative of Spain. Some common Spanish surnames have Celtic roots, reflecting the influence of Celtic tribes that inhabited parts of the Iberian Peninsula between the 8th and 6th centuries BC. Examples include Gonzalez, possibly derived from the Celtic term Gunthi, meaning fighter; Lopez, possibly from the Celtic lupus, meaning wolf; Diaz may have a connection to the Celtic term Deus; Lago, Galician surname meaning lake. Other surnames with potential Celtic origins include Rivera, Braga, Estrada, Arzua, Pariñas, Freire, Lugo, Marin, Mosquera, Paez, Quiroga, and Ulloa. Now, let's turn our attention to the fascinating Arabic influence on Spanish surnames. The 8 centuries of Muslim rule in the Iberian Peninsula, from 711 to 1492, left an indelible mark on Spanish culture, language, and of course, family names. Interestingly, some of the most common surnames in Spain today have Arabic roots, like Garcia, for instance. It's the most common surname in Spain, carried by over 1.4 million people, and it's believed to have Arabic origins. The same goes for Martinez and Perez, the second and third most frequent surnames in Spain, respectively. But the Arabic influence doesn't stop there. Many Spanish surnames begin with al, which in Arabic means the. For example, Alcalá comes from Alcalat, meaning the fortress. Alcaraz derives from Alcaraz, which means the cherry tree, and Almeida comes from Almeida, translating to the plateau. Other surnames reflect Arabic words for geographical features or urban structures. Medina, a common surname, comes from the Arabic word for city. Guadalupe, which might sound familiar, comes from Wadi al-Lub, meaning hidden river. Now let's examine the Visigothic influence on Spanish surnames. The Visigoths, a Germanic people, ruled the Iberian Peninsula from the 5th to the 8th centuries. Their impact on Spanish family names is both significant and long-lasting. A key feature of Visigothic influence is the suffix -es in many Spanish surnames. This ending typically means son of or descendant of. For example, Rodriguez, one of the most common Spanish surnames, means son of Rodrigo. Rodrigo comes from the Germanic Roderick, meaning glory and power. Alvarez is derived from the Germanic name Alvaro or Alva, combining words for all and defense. Gonzalez comes from Guntisalbus, where Gunp means battle. Other common surnames with Visigothic origins include Gomez, Ramirez, Hernandez, Fernandez, Sanchez, Bermudez, Enriquez, Ordóñez, and Velázquez. The long period of Roman rule in Hispania, which lasted for about 6 centuries, left a significant mark on Spanish culture, including its surnames. Let's explore some examples of this Roman influence. The surname Exposito comes from the Latin expositus, referring to abandoned children. Romano, meaning Roman, is a direct reference to Roman heritage. Costa, derived from the Latin word for coast, indicates a geographical connection. Romero means pilgrim, especially one who has traveled to Rome, showing the importance of the city in early Christian times. Other surnames with Roman roots include Acosta Fontana, Villa, Romeo, Rossi, Greco, Bianchi. While these origins are fascinating, it's important to understand that the evolution of surnames is complex and often uncertain. Many surnames have multiple possible origins or have changed significantly over time. Also, having a surname with a particular origin doesn't necessarily mean direct descent from that ethnic group. Names were often adopted for various reasons throughout history. The research presented here is based on articles published in the Spanish newspaper El Español. For those interested in exploring this topic further, you can find direct links to these articles in the description below this video. These sources provide additional context and details about the fascinating history of Spanish surnames. Spain's genetic history reflects its rich and diverse past, shaped by migrations, conquests, and cultural exchanges over thousands of years. From early hunter-gatherers and Neolithic farmers to the Roman Empire and Islamic rule, each era has left a unique mark on the DNA of modern Spaniards. Studying these genetic markers reveals valuable insights into the origins and diversity of the Spanish people, emphasizing the importance of diversity in shaping the nation's identity. As genetic research advances, we'll continue to uncover new layers of Spain's intricate genetic story, deepening our understanding of its complex heritage. Thanks for exploring Spain's DNA with me. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.